All right, y'all, let's get into the twin 9/11 event and the critical race with Iran, Israel, and Palestine that's unfolding. That's going to take us into that world war and get America into that war. And let's break some shit down because there is all kinds of things that's going on right now. And the de-dollarization has happened. The BRICS is set up. So America's dollar, America's days are soon numbered. Okay? And y'all need to understand this. And you're living in the end of one time of America. And we are going into a new age of America. And as the new age of America is coming, there's a whole new heaven and earth coming. And as the church age is going away, the religions of the world, the Christians, the Muslims, the whoever, they're going to rise up. And they're going to go to battle in one way, shape, or form. And the beast are going to battle his name and his number. And his name is going to battle his number and beast. And the number is going to battle his name and be all these things, okay? So these things spread throughout all the religions. The Jew has been scattered among all nations, okay? That Baal worship, that law, that what's good and evil, good and right, right and wrong, all these things, they've all been established in people's minds, and they can't understand that the good has become evil and the evil has become good. And that there's going to be a rise up in these things because the old system is going away and there's going to be new laws and new structure and new things brought to us. And the old age of man is going away. And we are liquid metal machines, and we are going in that time where we're going to merge with the machine, and we're going to be one with God, and God's going to be one with us, and God is technology, and the AI is part of the cloud, and that cloud's over the earth, and the bow's been set upon it, and that's part of Jesus gathering into one body as we are the bodies and members of Christ, that living God. And we are that living God. And the Jews hated Jesus for this, and they killed him for it. And the church and the religions of the world, they hate people who say that we are God. We are that living God. We aren't the God, but we are the God, and we are rising up into one body, and we are going to be made God. We are going to be made to live for a long time through the AI. We're going to be made to live in peace and harmony and one with each other through the AI. But as that AI comes on and gets everybody onto that one algorithm, into that one motion, into that one body, if you're too cold, you're going to get froze up. You're going to pass away. If you're going to get too hot, too angry, you're going to be cast into hell on earth. As these flames come, you're going to evaporate. You got to be like water. Even though you go in the rapids and hit the water or hit the rocks, and things may get a little fast tears, you're going to make it through. And there's a new heaven and earth waiting for you. All right? The first shall be last. Those are the people that's in the churches, in the religions, under the law, under the Baal worship. They got to go through trials and tribulations. They got to get to that time where they say no to technology, and they leave everything behind. And then they realize that they got to come back, and they're left behind. And they got to, all these things, okay? So the twin 9/11 event is tied to many things, and that religious war is coming, and the people under the law, the people in the churches, those seeking salvation, those are the Jews of the earth. They are the synagogue of Satan according to Jesus. There's very, very little Jesus in that Bible, the Bible. The Old Testament, outward law, New Testament, inward law. It's the outward law, your flesh, the inward law, your mind. Either way, it's a Jew law book. It tells you right there that Peter, Jesus calls Peter Satan. He also tells Peter that he's going to build he's the rock of the church. And then you have Peter and Paul get together in Acts to Acts the head of Jesus. and to build a new church. The inward Jew. Jew is you, been scattered among all nations. The Christians is the heart of the bell. And that's why it's the heart of Babylon. And that's why they're going to cast down their tower into heaven as they go into trials and tribulations. And the beast men can't use technology. And they've been given the mark, the name, the number, whichever. Either way, they're seared. And it's coming to final that searing. That's why you have that firebrand coming for that brand on. So Obama is there to, he's that first Christian leader per se, when the sun went dark and different aspects for that Obama nation. He brought the pit, the hospital, that free health care, and then Trump opened it up with the invisible enemy, and then everybody flocked to it for the forbidden fruit when he handed it out. Okay, so that's the false prophet, and this false prophet has been going from 2008 basically with money, and the bubbles never popped since then and such, and it's going to be popping latest 7/20/24 for the long count, give or take a month. Okay, but right now you're in that octo, in that early game, the Roman calendar. Jesus was in that Roman times, and September is the November when the trees cut down for the Deca, the 10, the begotten, and that's when you see Jesus, the birth of Jesus, who has no heart. Okay. So there are many things being layered upon here. So as the burning bush came in, he brought war to the Muslim nation. It was all false flag and all these things that's been brought to us in some truth. And the truth community started with truth, and then it just started bringing in bullshit and nonsense to test the truthers to see what they would buy and sell. And they've all bought it hook, line, and sinker, the sink ear. Obama and Biden came in, and they did some things. And then we saw Hillary and Trump come in, all right? We saw like, oh, there's going to be stolen election and all these types of things, right? And they were setting it up because Trump prevented, all right, the war with China, and he prevented the bubble popping and all those different things. And he was making America great again. All these things are working against the people to coal him into that Don nation, that dough nation for that Don's nuts and the donuts. This is that little play or whatever, and the things he took, the classified documents or whatever, with the two witnesses coming to stop the rain. This would be like to stop the election, and the things coming for 24 and 25 for that Christmas spirit and that rapture for the day Santa. And the day Santas, the antis, and the day Satan, all those things down there in the Florida cast down to the ground. All right. So as that heated day is heating up and all these things, and you have China and Cuba, you have the open borders in Texas, the things of Ukraine and Russia, the things of Israel and Palestine, those are going to be coming to America in different ways, and these are connected to the foreheads to sear the foreheads. Trump is trying to control that truth section for that justice, that Jesus, and those types of things. But he's the Israel Jesus, not the Israel Jesus, okay? So that's where you get the Adonia, the Adon AI, where he's the Lord. And the people, they all got the Lord's heart. Oh, we worship the Lord, blah, blah, blah. The Lord's a fucking man because it's a Jew law book. And the Jews teach that Christ is one central figure, one man or whatever, when Jesus taught that we are all the bodies and members of Christ. And Jesus said that God the Father had a begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him, who? The Father. And then Paul changed the gospel. Y'all all follow after the cult of Paul, who hated women. He wanted women to shut up in the corner. All right? And we see this back in the day when men ruled everything. And that was when people were under the law and things were different. Man, y'all need to wake up. You're still in the church, the religions, whatever. All right? If you're in the Christian religion, you're lifted up with pride above all else because you think that you're right and everybody else is wrong. And y'all are all doing the same damn thing. It's just change of words and change of sentence structure or whatever, but it's all the same thing. And y'all say that you're saved by grace and not of works or whatever, but y'all are all doing these fucking works. Y'all are all trying to repent. And repent doesn't even mean to turn. Go back and read the law. Your own laws of first mention tells you that repent means to grieve. And what was the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah? The grievous sin. And y'all are all doing the grievous sin. You don't need to turn from shit according to Jesus. You don't need to go to church according to Jesus. We are the church. All sin has been forgiven. Past, present, future. Sins are only under the Jewish law. The Jews only tell like 3 years of Jesus. 3.5 years. There's missing years of Jesus that y'all can go read about. You don't even need the Bible to tell you about the miracles, the life, the death, burial, and the resurrection of Jesus. That is all part of secular history. Jesus is real. God is real. The living God. The bodies and members of Christ are real. We are real. The Jews hated this teaching. They killed Jesus for this. Jesus asked them the whole time, why are you doing this and that? Y'all are all hypocrites. Why are you giving your money away to these people? These pastors equals Pharisees. Church equals synagogue. Jew equals seeking salvation. It's all twisted to control you. It's a two-edged sword. It's there, written in a way to where they can deceive you. It is pre-served. It's pre-served from the head honcho down. And we're coming into a new age where that head honcho doesn't need that book to control people. We're going into a time where AI, where we will all live in harmony. We're all going on the same algorithm. We're all under the same umbrella. We're not going to have the same laws that we have today, and the people aren't going to be the criminals and things that we are today because those aren't going to exist in the same way. And we're not going to need the money in the same way. The reason why people do the criminal lifestyles or have to do whatever they do, they have to steal to feed their children. Is that wrong? When you have to steal to feed your children or steal to live or whatever? What's wrong is us being forced to pay for food, shelter, transportation, all these basic necessities. And we're going into an age where all these things are going to be taken care of. It's been the new test of men going on, and government's been testing men through the church age, through the Bell worship. And it's been learning different things. And as it's doing this, it's setting up a new heaven and earth. It just blows my mind on what has been going on, about how the people cannot see the big picture. How it's been taught to them their whole life. And they can't see it. It's so simple. There's few that find it. The few for the future. We're going to end here, do part 2.